and the last section, we're going to talk about different research methods in health psychology. Number one going to be correlational research, in which we are just measuring changes of one variable with respect to the another. Here we don't have any causation because we cannot say that, for example, smoking going to cause cancer. But we know that smoking gonna, like, whenever you're smoking more, the probability of getting cancer gonna be more. We know that, for example, smoking and cancer, they go hands in hands, but we cannot say that smoking causes cancer. Like, one of the advantage of that, of correlational research, it is very adaptable. It's just very easy to understand. One of the disadvantage is it is just very difficult to just understand causality and direction of causality. For example, we don't know that if, for example, variable number A gonna cause variable B, and whether increasing variable A gonna cause more variable B, or maybe it is like decreasing of variable A gonna cause variable B. For example, sleeping and memory recall, we don't know that if sleeping more gonna cause a better memory recall, or maybe sleeping less, because like there are some people, they're gonna actually perform better whenever they are just sleeping less, gonna cause a better memory recall, and so on. Another way of research is prospective research, which actually looking forward in time to see. It is actually follow and observe changes of people over time, and it's going to actually be conducted to just understand the risk factor of different health conditions. Um, Longitudinal research is just another way in which you're gonna observe specific population, specific sample size at multiple time points. For example, whenever you are just observing children with, for example, learning disability at elementary school 4 times a year, like one of them gonna be in the middle of a spring semester, another gonna be in the middle of the fall semester, then at the end of a spring and at the end of fall semester. Um, Another way or another method or another design gonna be retrospective design. You're gonna look backward this time to just understand what conditions cause or help to develop a specific health situation. For example, at this point, like we are now in 2024, let's look back and identify the risk factor for AIDS, for development of AIDS. Or now we are in 2024, let's look back and just observe and identify what actually caused COVID-19 development and why it was just crazy in the US or some specific countries compared to another one, which we could see less COVID cases. So another way of studying is, or the science of studying frequency, distribution, and causes of infection is epidemiology. So in epidemiology, we're gonna actually look at a specific health condition or disease, and we're gonna actually follow and observe frequency, distribution, and cause of that specific health condition. When it comes to epidemiology, we're gonna have two important concepts. Number one gonna be morbidity, which gonna be number of cases of a disease that exists at some given point in time. For example, the number of all people with asthma in a given population. For example, let's say the number of people with asthma in Hispanic community living in the United States. Okay, it's going to be morbidity. Then comes mortality. It is like number of deaths due to particular cases. For example, if a city has a population of 100,000 of people and there were like 1,000 deaths in a year, we're gonna say mortality rate gonna be 10 deaths per 1,000, or let's say 0.01. It's gonna be mortality rate. We're gonna have different methodological tools for health psychology. There are more than these ones that I mentioned here, and more than the ones that your book actually mentioning them. But the most important one gonna be fMRI, which gonna help a lot to take different pictures and have a better understanding of your brain functionality. This is great for neuroscience. I know we have like I guess, two students from neuroscience department. So if you know more about fMRI, just feel free to just email me. And if you have any projects, just try to talk about them in simple words so I can just put up a post in iCollege so everyone can just see what you guys are doing with fMRI. I personally work a lot with EEG and fMRI. We are just looking at language development in children with that. So like basically we are using EEG to just understand what parts of the brain can actually produce more vocabulary, especially new one, like novel vocabulary in 4 years old children. And EEG help us a lot to just literally track what's going on with the brain. But if you guys have any project with fMRI, you can just say that as well. So in general, fMRI helped a lot to give us a better understanding about immune system, about, for example, different parts of the brain and body, and also new technology like mobile and wireless technologies. They are really helpful, especially, for example, for a specific disease like diabetes. I guess you all know that there are some smartwatch that people with diabetes, they are using that so they can just track their blood sugar. Or same goes for other diseases as well. You can literally assess what's going on in your body using mobile and wireless technologies. And lastly, we're going to talk about meta-analysis. Meta-analysis is basically, let's say you're going to have 100 studies on a specific disease. The idea that checking all of those studies to identify what kind of evidence and what kind of factors are more impactful on that specific disease based on that 100 studies out there, it's going to be meta-analysis. So basically, you have to read all those papers, all those research to just understand, okay, what factors they were just more common on that specific disease. For example, back to diabetes, we can just read a lot of studies. And for example, we would understand that, yes, for example, obesity and high blood sugar, they can lead to diabetes. And we can just check the diets and like everything, just understand what kind of diet can just cause or just be more correlated to diabetes type 2, for example. So it's going to be meta-analysis whenever you are just reading and researching all the studies out there. So this is the last part of this chapter. And the question is, what is health psychology training for? So far, we learned a lot about methodology, about research design, about the population and like different part of bodies and different tools in health psychology. So why we should just use this training and for like what fields these trainings in health psychology can be useful? First of all, healthcare practitioners, doctor, they're just using that all the time. Then comes social work. Yes, social workers, they are using health psychology a lot, for example, to measure people's well-being, to measure their physical status and all that. Occupational therapy, physical therapy, public health, most of all, academic research. And I would say academic research and health psychology training, they are just reinforcing each other. For example, the training is actually promoting academic research, and by doing more research, we can just understand what's going on in health psychology and its training. Private practice and so on. Your book did a great job in just explaining each of them in detail. So just go and check your book and make sure you understood the material. If you had any questions, you can always email me. Here is actually here are some random points from your discussion posts and your emails that you send it to me. I just wanted to briefly discuss some of them. Majority of you in your discussion post mentioned your objective from taking this course is just understanding health psychology, just understanding how you could use concepts from health psychology in your real life or in your future career. which I'm totally with you. I really appreciate that. There were some students, they were concerned about their grade. They wanted to get grade A or a good grade. My answer is it is definitely based on you. Like I literally nothing to do with your final grade because all your quizzes, like weekly quizzes, it's gonna be automated. Like our college gonna grade them, and there is no exam. There is just one project plus two discussion posts. So as long as you would just take your quizzes in a good way, like try your best for your quizzes, because you do have two attempts and there is no time limit. So as long as you would check the material, you should be good. Okay. Same goes for the discussion post. As long as you would just follow the criteria that I asked you for doing the discussion post, you should be good. Also, I know there might be some questions here and there, so you can always um, ask me your questions in advance. Don't wait until the very last minute and ask your questions, because I cannot help you, to be honest. Because, like, for example, about your final project, I'm having 75 students and I have to be accessible to everyone, right? And this is just one class. I'm teaching like other ones as well. So if you would wait until 2 hours before your submission deadline and ask your questions, I cannot help you because I'm getting so many emails. So, and I can do, I mean, a letter, right? Because I cannot answer everybody's question 1 hour before the submission. So ask your questions in advance. This actually leads to class participation. Um, This part of your grading, it is all about asking your questions in advance if you have any. You don't need to send me like an email to just send me an email. It's not necessary at all. If you have a question, ask me before the deadline and always try to just meet your deadlines and due dates in this class. I can understand if you have like some sort of health condition or family circumstances or emergency condition, I can understand, but you have to communicate with me. And also if you have like health condition or anything like that, you're gonna email dean of students and they're gonna send me an actual document so I can work with you. Um, if a student would miss deadlines and wouldn't take the quizzes or wouldn't submit assignments, they cannot get a full class participation as well. I hope it makes sense. And also being respectful toward me and also toward your peers, because we're gonna have discussion posts. And I know not everybody is just, let's say, has a similar opinion to the other one. So I want you to be receptive and accept someone who is very different from you. And if you wanna say that you actually have a different perspective, do that in a respectful way. Always put yourself in someone else's shoes. This is my whole point about class participation. And oh, one important point, oh my goodness. One important point here is I updated the syllabus. I put final project in April 14th. So check your updated syllabus and mark down your calendar for this one. I'm gonna do the lecture 10 days before the due dates. I guess, yeah, it's just a week, which means like 10 days or something before the due dates, but I'm gonna post up all the necessary material for final project. So they are the points that I just wanted to mention for now. But if you have any other questions, just ask me. I'll do my best in answering you. If I wouldn't know the answer, I would ask. And yeah, that is all.